David, and this is another episode of Arguing for Fun.
Okay.
Today we will be talking about animal testing. I will be arguing for it, and my partner David here will be arguing against it. Okay, let's just put these numbers in perspective. According to US Statistics Speaking of Research.com, we test so many less animals than we do kill chickens for food. In fact, only 27 million animals die a year. Well, 9,000 million chickens die every year.
I think this data does not clear enough to show that animal testing is not harmful. The data does not have a post time, so we don't know if the data is a range or average for a couple years. And also, we cannot say that animal testing is not mattered by only saying we are killing chickens for food is more than animal for testing. Because anything we do, it has to be worth it. If animal testing is a waste of money, then no matter how many chicken we eat, the animal testing should be stopped.
This may be true, but animal testing does do a ton of helpful things. In fact, animal testing saves lives because it creates important medicines that we need. And my next point is that according to this data about number of animals used, we've started to use less and less animals for animal testing, and therefore less and less animals are being killed. We use mostly rodents for testing, and this data shows that we've gotten way more efficient with the way we test animals, so that we don't have to use as many, but we can still produce good medicines.
The graph looks like a square-right graph that shows the people use less and less animal every years, but it can also be a bimodal graph because there are two different times that shows the number of animal testing increase here and here. So it may increase in the future too. The decrease of used animals for testing may because more and more people don't need animals testing anymore. Okay, from the animal research at the Novartis data, the graph shows that the cost of animals testing and the number of animals used for testing. We can see more and more animals being used for testing, and the cost of testing is growing even faster. It can show we spend more and more money on the animal testing. It's not only showing that more and more money is used to make the same effect than before, also showing that more and more place start to waste on animal testing. So we should stop use the animal for testing.
I do see your point here, but if you look very closely, you can see that from 2006 to 2014, there's a slight decrease in the amount of animals used. Although it doesn't stay constant from 2012, it is pretty steady.
I have a better source that shows my point that we should not use animal for testing. This data is from a statistic of animals used in research and testing in Australia. The median lines of this graph shows that the use of animal increased each year since 2004, especially on 2009, 2006, and 2011. There are three different times that have the big different amount of testing animal also represent a big standard deviation. It means the use of animal for testing that is not controllable.
One of the really important things that we should say is that this is from Australia, and because it's from Australia, they're going to have different methods of testing animals, and they're going to be producing different medicines than the US does, and they're going to have different procedures for doing that, as well as laws regarding animal testing. So if we want to talk about banning animal testing in the world, I think we should start with the home country that we belong from, in the U.S. You do bring up some good points. I'd like to say that you won this fight. Now, we shall cite our sources. For this first source, we have U.S. statistics, speaking of research. For this second source, we have posts about animal welfare, act on speakingofresearch.com. For our third, we have animal research at Novartis. And for our fourth and final one, we have statistics on animal use in research and teaching in Australia. Bye, everybody.